So what does solar actually cost in 2026? Let's break down what drives the cost of solar energy systems up or down and what our customers typically spend on their systems. There are many factors that impact the price of a solar system. Let's start first of all with the factors that drive the cost up. One factor that affects the cost of a solar system obviously is your system size. The bigger the size, the higher the cost of the project. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the more panels you have, the lower cost per panel, because there are some fixed costs with every project, design, permitting, those kinds of things that will stay pretty close to the same even as you add more panels. A second factor to consider is the system type. Is it a roof mount, where you're adding panels and racking onto the roof? Or is it a ground mount, where we have to come out with larger equipment, pound posts into the ground? Or maybe it's a carport, which is even higher costs, where you have the clearance of your system pretty high off the ground. Another factor is equipment types. For example, panel type. Do you want an all black panel that looks nicer on the roof versus a more cost-effective silver frame panel? Or an inverter type, string inverter versus optimizer versus microinverter. Generally speaking, the string inverter is going to be the most cost-effective solution, whereas the microinverter, which has an inverter under each panel on the roof, is going to be more expensive. And then the optimizer system, which is a string inverter plus an optimizer under each panel, is going to be generally somewhere in the middle. Is it single phase or is it three phase? Again, generally speaking, three phase is going to be more cost effective than single phase. And by the way, if you'd like to learn more about the different types of inverters, check out our YouTube channel. We have more videos there about inverters and the various types. Another factor is electrical equipment upgrades. So is your current electrical service and your current electrical transformer from the utility, are they large enough to handle the output of the solar array, or will they need to be upgraded? Another piece to consider is the warranties on the equipment and on the system itself. Are you looking for the basic 1-year workmanship warranty and 1 year of production tracking from Paradise Energy Solutions? Or are you looking for the full triple 10 years of workmanship warranty, 10 years of guaranteed production, and 10 years of production tracking? And finally, policy changes can also add costs to your project. Tariffs is something to consider for equipment that we need to purchase for your system. That's for any project. The next three, however, are only for commercial projects. There's FEOC restrictions, which only allow a certain percentage of your project components to come from countries like China, for example. There's also domestic content. If you want to get the commercial domestic content 10% ITC bonus, there's additional costs for those components. And finally, some commercial projects may also require prevailing wage, which increases the cost of the project. Now I get it. That's a long list of things that can drive the cost of your project up. I just went through this myself. I just had a ground mount installed at my house recently. But at the same time, there's a number of factors that can help bring the cost of your solar project down. One thing to keep in mind is incentives. For example, tax credits are still available for commercial projects in the US. There's also grants. Some states offer grants and some utilities still offer utility rebates. These things combined can make up a significant portion of some projects. Another thing to keep in mind is efficient design and use of equipment. Installation as close as possible to the electric service is going to help. For my ground mount that I just installed recently, I put the ground mount within about 50 or 60 feet of my meter so that we didn't have to trench very far at all underground. So the closer you can get to that interconnection, that's going to help you bring your costs down. Another thing is, can I just do big squares of panels on the roof, big squares of panels in the ground, or do I need to break it up and move it to different roofs or different ground locations? If I can do it all together, that's going to help bring that price down. Also, if you're doing a new build, a new house or new commercial building, keep solar in mind right from the start. And finally, energy efficiency. Reducing the amount of electricity you need will allow you to install a smaller system and bring the cost of your solar array down. Something like a heat pump water heater, for example, is something I'd like to install at my house this year. That should help lower the amount of electricity needed and bring the cost of your solar array down. Now that we've looked at factors that can increase or decrease the price of a solar project, let's talk about some actual numbers for some actual projects. So for a residential system, a good estimate of price per watt is about $2.75. So for a 10 kW, which is enough for about $175 a month electric bill, a 10 kW is about 10,000 watts. times $2.75, that's $27,500 for that project. A 20 kW, which is enough for an electric bill of around $350, is 20,000 watts times $2.75 is about $55,000. Just as a point of reference, we recently did an 11 kW for just under $30,000. Now let's look at some commercial examples. A good estimate of a price per watt for a commercial project is about $2.30 per watt, and that's with domestic content, so that allows you to get the additional 10% tax credit adder. So an example of a commercial project would be about 100 kW, let's say 100,000 watts, times $2.30 would be about $230,000. And just as a point of reference, we recently did a project, 143 kW right here for a poultry farmer here in Pennsylvania, for right around $380,000. Now that we've looked at a variety of cost factors for solar projects, it's time to decide if solar is really worth it in 2026. Let's go back now and look at the residential project and the commercial project that I referenced before and look at some actual ROI and payback numbers for those projects. A recent 11 kW residential project with an electric rate of 16.4 cents, no tax credit, and no grants in Maryland had a payback of just under 12 years and an ROI of 11.3%. On the other hand, a recent 150 kW commercial project that we did in Pennsylvania with an electric rate of 14.3 cents and a 40% tax credit had a payback of just over 5 years and an ROI of 28.6%. Now, a couple things to keep in mind here. Electric rates are only going to continue going up. In addition, the commercial tax credit ends at the end of 2027. So with all of that in mind, if you're curious what solar could look like for you, start with our free estimator. In under a minute, you'll get a ballpark installation cost, estimated ROI, and potential savings. No sales call required. And if you want exact numbers, our local solar consultants can build a custom quote with a preliminary design and full cost breakdown, so you'll know exactly what you're investing in. And before you go, subscribe for more honest solar insights, give this video a like, and leave a comment to let us know what stood out. Thanks for watching.